What eventually disappeared and no one noticed? Our need to know who our neighbors are. I listened to a podcast about human interaction recently, and the host said that the internet slowly made it possible to live without knowing who the people are next door. It used to be that we would hang out with people in our street or attend dinners, birthdays, and whatnot. Now, everyone seems to have no need to even so much as introduce themselves. The only time we do get to know each other is if we have a complaint. Toys in cereal boxes. More importantly, toys in Cracker Jack. Hell, they don't even come in a box anymore. They come in a bag. Edit. And speaking of prizes, you don't get those chance to win under the cap sweepstakes on drinks anymore. Everything is a code that the majority of people probably never take the time to enter on a website. Used to be able to just look under the cap to see if you won, and then mail the cap to the company. CD, DVD drives, and laptops. Somewhere along the way 9 to 5 turned into 8 to 5. Yeah, when I hear the song I'm like, wait, did they get paid for lunch? Or just eat at their desks? Or did they actually not work 8 straight hours? They got paid for lunch. The idea was that them being there at lunchtime was because the company paid them to be there the entire time. Companies also used to have company cafeterias that sold decent food at a very reasonable price. We're in the process of full-size can of Arizona teas for 99 cents disappearing. I'm seeing a lot of places starting to carry the smaller plastic bottles for 99 cents or the larger plastic bottles for more. I'm honestly surprised that they've lasted for this long at the same price. Longevity in careers. This is a big one nobody seems to have said. Longevity in careers has largely gone away. People used to get a job and after being there for decades reap the benefits of being seasoned employees, higher salaries and better perks. Maybe it's because I work in the entertainment industry, but I feel that longevity in careers has gone away. Meaning, people can be amazing at a job, but after 5+ years the employers start wondering if they could be doing better with a younger/cheaper candidate for the job. I understand if you ever want to move up in a workplace they expect you to bring your A game, but 30+ years of being incredible is hard. Some years will be better than others, and if employers don't have loyalty to their employees anymore, it is likely the good employee will be fired or let go at some point. I feel like in recent decades this has forced many people who normally wouldn't to switch careers. Can someone work successfully up the ladder at any job without having to shift to another company for a promotion? A combination of employers halting upward movement of their staff while they look for new employees to fill higher roles, and the fact that they get bored of their seasoned employees has largely killed the idea of anyone having a single career. People fainting when something unexpected happens, and people carrying smelling salts for just such an occasion. It's so 19th century. Those god-awful Chevy commercials with the real people, not actors. One day, I realized I hadn't seen one in a while and it was almost as if they'd never existed. Except I knew they had. Man, I hated those damn things. Kinda surprised I haven't seen this one yet, but Ronald McDonald. You remember the old clown everywhere in and around McDonald's commercials and stores? Gone. Phased out when that clown scare prank trend was going around. I don't know, I didn't notice. Reminds me of a Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy quote. You know, said Arthur, it's at times like this, when I'm trapped in a Vogon airlock with a man from Beetlejuice and about to die of asphyxiation in deep space, that I really wish I'd listened to what my mother told me when I was young. Why? What did she tell you? I don't know. I didn't listen. Or in big markets. In the 90s, I lived in a small town that didn't have any big stores, but there was a bigger town an hour's drive away where we did our shopping that had those. In those stores, they had PlayStations and Nintendo 64s out for you to try out. I remember seeing Mario 64 for the first time there, and after some other kids got bored with it, I got to try it out as well. It was magic. I think the last store console I saw was PS3. And the last one I tried was probably GBA. TV bumpers. There used to be a little sequence between the show and commercials. Some of them were really interesting and creative. I think my generation remembers the wand IDs on the Disney Channel, where a Disney celeb would use a wand to make the logo. There were also bumpers that were PSAs or other actual content. Edit. Yes, I watched that documentary on YouTube. It's amazing. Everyone go to Defunctland's channel and watch the one on the Disney Channel jingle. Just trust me, don't look up spoilers. Having many family photographs in homes. Not completely gone, but homes used to be plastered in them. The only times I really noticed them is in homes of older people. Got my wife a digital photo frame for the living room. It has all our family photos rotating with a focus on vacations and adventures. We have another in our bedroom that's for our wedding and honeymoon photos. 10 tenths, absolutely great investment. So many happy memories, and it never fails to put a smile on her face at least once a day. For parties, we'll purposefully change the photo sets to include anyone who's visiting to see if they catch it, including brand new photos we took at the current party. It's cute and low-key hilarious when they realize the photo is 5 minutes old. There were attempts. Sky launched a 3D channel in the UK specifically to cater for 3D TVs, broadcasting a load of programs shot with 3D cameras. They pumped quite a bit of cash into signing deals for 3D content as well producing their own. I recall at the time there had been a flurry of excitement over this new generation of 3D, which felt much more realistic and immersive than the crappy old red and blue glasses. Sky obviously wanted to be first out of the traps as the premier 3D content producer. They closed it after 5 years. I have to call doctors' offices daily for work, and there is one that has I timed it, nearly 4-minute long opening message. It includes hours, address, with directions, COVID policy, and new patient policy. You have to listen to the whole thing before it lets you hit the extension you want. I hate it, I hate it, I hate it. Ugh, yes. I spend a lot of time calling veterinary clinics at work, and there's one office that has a message just like that. I end up having to call them right after lunch every day when I'm at my most sleepy and unmotivated. I fall asleep when I call them because of that horseshit. Every time. Fortunately, their hold music is set at max volume, so I get blasted awake by garbled Chuck Mangione just in time to deal with the meanest receptionist on earth. I mumble about setting their building on fire like a Milton so much I'm worried it's HR actionable. Plasma TVs. I had one and it died after we all watched an intervention marathon during COVID. TV repair shops, now that you mention it. It used to be a guy behind a counter with electronic guts all over the place. He'd give you a ticket and you had to listen to the radio for a week or two. My dad was a TV repairman back in the day. It was a gradual fade. Used to be that not every store sold TVs, Walmart didn't until the mid to late 80s. So your repair shops used to be able to order sets for you and make some of their money off of that. This was more the small town guys, not the big city repair shops who already had Best Buys or Circuit Cities. Chinese Asian manufacturing picked up and started dumping cheap, basic TV sets in the late 80s and early 90s. They'd sell them at any store that'd carry them, so all of a sudden Kmart and Walmart were in the TV business. And they'd sell them so low it didn't make sense to repair anything but the big living room TVs. Why would you pay $80 to repair the 13-inch TV in your bedroom when you could buy a new one for $99? So sales income dried up, as did repair income on the smaller sets. Then in the late 80s/early 90s there was industry compression. Some of the big manufacturers got out of the industry, sold their mark to a cheaper manufacturer, or went bankrupt. Those who remained, Sony, Panasonic/Quasar, etc., went the route of forced obsolescence and quit making parts for new sets after a few years, so repair shops either turned away a lot of customers or they started harvesting working parts from other dead TVs. The last straw was the ubiquity of surface mount circuit boards. Even if a repair guy had the chops to repair, not replace, a blown resistor or capacitor, it's really freaking hard to repair a surface mount solder job. Fireflies aka lightning bugs. I live rural and I used to see hundreds on a warm summer night. Now I get excited if I see just one. I mentioned it to other people who live in the same area as I do and they were just like, huh, yeah, you're right. At it, lightning bugs. Also, thank you for the awards. I'm a biologist and we categorize fireflies as bioindicators, meaning if they are a lot in an area, it really says a lot of the environmental quality of that area. They usually thrive in areas where there is less light pollution since bioluminescence is their primary mode of communication. Insert artificial light in the equation and you disrupt their mode-species interaction. I live in a rural area with a large field across from my house and behind my house. I swear every June we get thousands of fireflies that dance in the fields all night. It's a spectacular show from Mother Nature. I have tried to capture them on video, but it doesn't do it justice. Postcards. And not just in the usual places, like museum gift shops and tourist traps. There was once a time when you could buy at any truck stop or roadside motel a postcard of the small town you were driving through. But not anymore. No point when you can just text your friends a photo. There was a restaurant I visited in Florida that gave you a postcard with your bill. You could write anything on it and add an address, and they would pay for the postage and send it for you. It was a neat novel concept from the restaurant. I wrote an extremely inappropriate rant on it and sent it to my mom's new address because she was planning to move, and I thought it would be really funny. She hadn't bought the house yet, and the older owners must have gotten a bizarre postcard in the mail. Oops. The restaurant is called YOLO in Fort Lauderdale.